Pearlfishers duet by Georges Bizet, sung by my guest this afternoon, Rydian, with the Orchestra of St John's under the baton of John Lubbock. Rydian, you've been described as a pop opera singer. Do you like that label? How would you yourself describe your singing?
Well, I always aspire to sing properly. I have a great teacher, and I take it very seriously, and I train for 2 hours a day. My hero vocally is Simon Keenleside. I think he's
he's a tremendous
sensational and a lovely man as well, very charismatic. He has a sporting background like myself. I've met him a number of times. I'm inevitably going to be associated with pop music as well. I come off of arguably the biggest pop show that's ever been, you know, and I was unusual because I had this classical core to my sound. But let's not forget, I trained classically. I have a degree in music, you know, so my vocation was to be a classical singer or perhaps a musical theatre singer. I just love learning the craft of singing, and it's a long game. You know, any young singer listening, you know, it is a marathon. It's not a sprint when you're singing classically, and people shouldn't approach big repertoire too early. And I'm 31 now, and I can feel the voice getting stronger, and it's thrilling, you know, to see the change in the voice as you get older.
Now, you referred just then to the X Factor, and you were one of the success stories back in 2007. How did that actually help you in your career? Did it give it a tremendous boost?
Gave me a huge platform. 13 million every Saturday watching back then. I mean, I think the numbers have dwindled a little now, but I did it in the heyday in 2007. Of course, it was a huge risk, but I did ask a few people that are close to me, that are older, that act like mentors, said, do you think this is a good idea? One of the people I asked was Mary Hammond at the Royal Academy, who runs that course, and she said, Rydian, you should do it, because the exposure you'll gain is second to none. So I did. And I wouldn't add life. I said it was easy because there's so much more to it than just a singing competition. The singing was relatively easy, but the TV show, what they make around you as a character, that was difficult, and a lot of hours spent in front of the camera, them trying to get a backstory. I thought, is this really necessary? But of course it is, because it's a TV show, like a soap opera.
And did you feel that they were following their own agenda in terms of creating a backstory for you? Was that possibly frustrating?
Certainly they were, yeah. The two sides to X Factor. There's the TV company, and then there's the music side, which is controlled by Simon Cowell. And Simon always said, don't worry, Rydian, stick with it. I know exactly what I want to do with you. And of course, he looks after Il Divo, who are classically trained singers. So I towed the party line with the TV company to make the TV show, but then I always knew that Simon was backing me and supporting me, and yeah, I'm glad I stuck with it, because I spent three years with him, and I learnt a lot from him.
Now, if you were asked by someone who knew very little about classical music and had never been to an opera, what opera should they go to? Which would you choose?
Wow, great question. I personally, Carmen, I think is a great one to go. Yeah, I think Carmen or the Pearlfishers.
Rydian, this has been delightful. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. And I should just say that John Brunning will reveal where your album currently sits in the Classic FM chart after this show at 5. So fingers crossed for that #1 spot.
Fingers crossed. Thanks for having me on, Charlotte. Thank you.